Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me for another special health focused Tai Chi and Qigong class. We are looking through the 24 International Simplified Competition form, and the weather is beautiful outside, very sunny. So I don't know how it is there. I hope it's nice for you too. So let us begin. Let's take right hand in a fist, please, and left hand straight, pulling back the thumb, feet together, hands together, and press forwards. And you may have noticed that we have a couple of cats with us today, not the normal cats that you're used to seeing around. These are lions from the lion dance, which is a Shaolin style of Kung Fu. Specifically, it's the Shaolin Fut school. These are from the Five Fist Kung Fu school, which is my husband's school. And he didn't have anywhere to store them today, so I thought they could join in and add a bit of colour. So as you can see here, there is a massive drum that the large lion is sitting on. That's an adult lion, and the drum beats the beat for the lions to dance. It's a two-headed puppet, if you like, where people are doing martial arts, but controlling the lion's head, and the person at the back is doing the footwork and doing the lifts and jumps. And here we have a child's lion, which is much smaller and lighter, for children to practice. So they learn how to do the lion dance quite early on in their Kung Fu career. And it can be a lot of fun. It's often used for a blessing, for a wedding or an event that they would have the drum and cymbals and a gong, which represents the heartbeat of the lion, and the lion dances about and blesses the place, scares away evil spirits, and tends to throw oranges at the crowd or rip up lettuce and throw lettuce around the place. And as I say, this is a way to bless the proceedings before anyone goes any further. Sometimes they'll also do a unicorn dance. I don't think Willem has ever been involved in a unicorn dance, but it's something similar, same idea. Let's do a little bit of warming up, please. I have done some lion dance. There is a lion dance group in Belfast, lion and dragon dance group through Queen's University, with a lovely gentleman running the show called Alan Liu. And he was very kind. He offered to do a lion dance at our wedding, which was very, very thoughtful. But Willem and me being Westerners, I just said, you know what, I don't want a Chinese wedding. We'll just have a nice quiet gathering. So we didn't opt for blessing in that way. But they're nice and colourful, and it's a lot of hard work. A lion dance is powerful exercise, and you're trying to bring the lion to life, basically. So it's a very put your ego aside thing, because people can't see it's you. Even you're inside a costume with a great big helmet that you're manoeuvring around. So yes, very, very interesting and very festive. Good. Okay, let's change direction. They recently did the lion dance in the St. Patrick's Day parade, actually in Sligo. And there was a theme, an Irish fairy tales theme, and so they did a little bit of reenactment of the cattle raid of Cooley, if you've ever heard of that, where Queen Maeve and, was it her husband, tried to steal each other's cattle, and so the lion turned into a prize bull for that particular performance, and they tried to steal the bull, steal the lion. It actually upset one of Willem's little students, his younger students, because he said it's a blessing animal, it shouldn't be treated like that, which we all thought was very sweet. Okay, good stuff. So let's change onto our next exercise, and we do a little rotation. Good. Sending a circle a spiral down through the leg, and let's change direction. And shake out, lovely, on the other side. And change direction. Remember, always just do what you can comfortably. You may notice some days your body is happy to do a lot more, and other days you might find it difficult even to get off your chair and join in. So try to get off your chair, see what you can do. Let's do a little bit of a hip roll in a wider stance. Good, and change direction. I'm just noticing the small lion looks like it needs some orthodontic work. Its jaw is off to one side, but the mouths are very flexible so that they can open and close their mouths while they dance and tear up lettuce and throw oranges from their mouths and things like that. Good, all right. Lovely. So let's come up. And we'll take a little leg stretch. Now, as we age, our muscles tend to shorten and our tendons can seem a little bit less long. So with Tai Chi, we spend our entire time on bended knee. So always when we're doing a movement from A to B, the knees are slightly bent. And the danger of that is that our muscles and our tendons can shorten. So if you do no other stretch in Tai Chi, it's important to stretch the back of your legs and the posterior chain. So you're making up for the fact that during your practice, you spend your entire time on a slightly bended knee. So it's really important that you do that stretch. Any other stretches you do are fine as well, but we want to keep our legs nice and long and nimble. So let's extend the leg out, place it down, and we'll do a little forwards and backwards movement and breathe. Good, and that little bit of movement just warms the muscles, gets the energy flowing into the limbs a little bit more, and that means that it's safer to actually stretch. So let's feed the weight back and keep the front leg relatively straight. If you can, brace it a little bit, but don't force it and hinge forwards from the hips. Now you'll see the masters pushing really quite aggressively into their knees, and they can do that because they've been training quite aggressively all their lives. But if you're picking up a practice, especially in your adulthood, let's ease out of our stance, and you haven't been doing stuff like that all your life, we have to ease in. You don't need to be forcing anything. So let's kick it out on the other side, and forwards and back, and breathe. I've noticed this with Tai Chi and Qigong, that the standard way of doing it is really quite aggressive. In some instances, health exercises, Qigong exercises, you might thump an area of your body 100 times. That's the sort of standard way of doing it. I wouldn't start that way. I would always build it up as a standard practice. Let's feed the weight back and keep the leg gently braced and lengthen the spine, hinge from the hip, and down you go. Good. I'm not sure, did we pull the toes back on the first side? Let's do it. Pull the toes back. I don't think we did. We'll go back to it. Keep breathing. If you can, catch the same side, foot with hand. But if you can't, don't worry about it. Put the foot down, up you come. We better go back to the first side. I don't think we pulled the toes back. Let's kick it out. step it down, feed the weight back, pull the toes back, and if you can, take hold, same side hand. Now, I like to do a little pulse, a very gentle pulse as I breathe. And that allows me to get these little micro releases and micro stretches within the stretch. But it's not a bounce and it's not a forcing action. It's a release as we breathe. Good, relax the foot down and up you come. So I would not encourage you to bounce into a stretch because you could tear something and it's out of control. But a pulse, if you're breathing and releasing and feeling your way, it might sound like the same thing, but in my mind it's really not, and it's much safer, but allows these little releases. So breath is key to relaxation, and relaxation is key to stretching. So you can't stretch a structure that is holding tension. What you'll do, in effect, you'll tear the strands of that muscle. So it's important that we breathe as we stretch, it's important that we relax into the stretch, and it's important that we don't force a stretch. But you have to work out how much is too much. And sometimes that means actually going too far. As long as you learn from it, then you won't do yourself too much damage, or any damage hopefully. But just go gently and increase the pressure a little by little until you go, there we go, that's too far, let's go back a bit. Let's do a side stretch. So we're going to reach up and lengthen through the structures, lengthen through the shoulder, up, 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 and now we lift to the top corner opposite the other foot. And we're just going to look up past your palm and breathe. Good. And straight away, when I ask you to do something, you may realise, oh no, I can't do that. So if that's the case, don't worry, don't do it. If you can, give it a go. And if you're not sure, try it, and you might surprise yourself. On the other side, we lengthen through the shoulder, up, 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 and to the opposite shoulder, and look up past your palm. The other hand can stretch down the leg a little bit. Good, and recover. Lovely. Now, when my first Tai Chi master did stretching with us, his stretches were very different, and I haven't done those stretches for a very long time, but I felt that they were just too extreme for folks coming in never having done Tai Chi. I will try and show you it now. Excuse me if I fall on my back, but let me see. So it's more like this. And you would do that, 3 times. Look, as I say, really quite extreme. But as I say, if you've been doing it all your life, no problem. If you're coming in from a place of not doing much, or recovering, or working with the condition, I would say that exercise I just tried to show you, it's a bit much, and I just don't do it myself either. Maybe I should build myself back to doing it, because it is a good stretch and it is building elasticity and buoyancy as well as stretching, but it's a bit extreme. Okay, let us now gently flow through the entire 24 form, and then we'll have a little look at the silk railing for the kicking section. So have a wee sip of water, make yourself comfortable, get yourself ready, whatever that means for you. I just had a conversation with a student who couldn't make it today. And I was saying, I'm not sure I'm ready to see Grandmaster Chen. And he sent a very sweet message, a GIF, that's, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He plays the doctor in House, but apparently he came up with this expression that nobody ever feels ready for anything, but the best time to do things is now. And he's absolutely right, just do it. So hopefully this weekend will go okay. But whether you feel ready or not, let's do some 24-step form. We'll just walk through it, adapt to the size of your space. Like me, I'll probably have to adapt. That's okay, let's just flow through. We start with our feet together and we lengthen up through the top of the head. The chin slightly down and back. Let's take a few moments to breathe and calm. Listening behind. And let's begin. Now let's do some stepping back just to get us more space. And continue. One more step back, I'll be off screen. And turn. Grasping bird's tail. Oh, I'm just about on screen, good. Pang Li. G. And An. Now, I want my feet on screen as well. So now we have our single whip. And cloud hands. Keep going into high pat on the horse. And separate kick right. Two bees buzzing. Turning to the back of your space, lift the left leg for separate kick left. And into the hook. 4, snake creeps down. Turn, turn, and turn again. Golden cockerel stands on one leg, into snake creeps down again. Jade maiden plays shuffles. I'm out of space, so I'm going to take another step back. Again, jade maiden plays shuffles. Half step for needle to sea bottom. Into fan through back. And ban, lan, choi, or block, parry and punch. Apparent close up. Gather and close. Well done, and a little heel tap. Very good. Okay, how did you get on? So, we've been looking at, for a couple of weeks, single whip, cloud hands and single whip. But what we haven't looked at yet is the second transition to get us from our single whip on the second stage of the movement into our next movement. And what I often find is that it's the transitions that are the most difficult aspects for most students, because we spend a lot of time on the movements themselves, but the transitions are somewhat less obvious. They're just kind of, oh, when you do this, and that gets you into the next thing. So it's often where people fall down, and not literally, but they just lose their place or just can't figure out, well, how did you get from there to there? I even noticed in the traditional way of studying Tai Chi from books, they used to have these little cartoon pictures of the person performing each move, but of course on paper they can't be moving, so they show arrows for each hand with a solid line for one hand and a dotted line for the other hand, and the same for the feet to get you from one position into the next. And though it might make perfect sense to the person drawing these instructions, actually it can look like complete gobbledygook to the person trying to figure it out. I only find those sort of traditional diagrams almost like a comic strip. They're useful if you already know the form. Then you can read it. You can just go, oh yes, you do that, and you do that, and you do that. But if you don't know, then it's agony trying to figure out what they're actually. So what? So there's a wee loopy thing? What's that about? It's very, very, very difficult to do. So let's have a look at the transition then between your last single whip and onto your high pat on horse. Now I'm going to show you back view as we've just done it, but just that little section. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do the front view, but not mirrored. I'm just going to show you it. So for some people, mirroring is very confusing. So just watch. This is what we've just done, but it's the section after you've done cloud hands. In fact, I'll do a little bit of cloud hands so you can see where we are. You do 3 sets of cloud hands, and then we make a hook. Everything smaller, everything bigger. This is single whip. This is the same. We unfold, relax down at 90 degrees, and fix the back foot to 45 degrees. Can you see that? Now I'll just come back more into the center. Okay, so our transition then, to get from single whip into high pat on horse, we look back, untwist and open, and we take a half step with the back foot feed the weight back and pop onto the ball of the foot, or the tips of the toes even. Left hand comes into waist with the blade, and the right hand pushes forwards. Okay, so rest. I'm just wondering, have I covered all the transitions? I know I did the transition from An, Honglu-Ji An, into the first single whip. Did I do the transition from single whip into cloud hands? I think I did. So I think we have covered them all. But if I haven't, let me know, because I'll sort that out. But okay, so let me show you that move again. So the transition from single whip into high pat on horse, and I'm going to show you it from a different angle. So I'm actually going to show you from, if I do single whip facing you. So that means like that's my front, that's behind. I've done my cloud hands, I've done my single whip, so I'm stepping diagonally back, opening, putting the foot down at 90 degrees and fixing the back foot and expanding. So can you see my eye line, my fingertips pointing up, but my hand pressing forwards, and my foot there in a line. But my body is facing the corner, and that allows my shoulders to sit comfortably over my hips and my hand above my foot, so the full angle is 135 degrees. So now at transition, I look back, untwist, opening the hand, opening the hook, and I take a little half step. And as I take a half step, the hand is coming in, put the heel down, feeding the weight back, squaring up, and I chop. One hand forwards, chopping to the throat, and the other hand coming in to the waist. Okay, so let me show you that again. So from here, notice I'm not lifting my shoulder, which is tempting, but we want the shoulders to relax down. We look back, unfold, half step, and chop. Good. Okay. So that movement is always useful if you can find out the Marshall application, what is a movement for, or at least one of the Marshall applications. That really just helps you remember and also gives you the right quality to the movement. So imagine somebody grabs your wrist. What do you do? Well, often someone might try to push them away or to twist or move away. But often in martial arts, we do the very thing that you might think is the last thing that anyone would do. And in a way, because we do that, it gives us an advantage, it gives us an edge. So if somebody grabs your wrist, are you likely to pull them in towards you? Maybe not, but in martial arts, yes, you are, because they're not expecting it, and also it gives you leverage. So as you're pulling one hand in towards you, you're pushing the other hand away from you. So their body coming in acts as a big force for you to then counteract. So you're chopping to the throat, but you're not just using your strength of your arm pushing forwards, you're using their body weight against them. They're coming in towards you, and so when you strike to the throat, it's their body weight that's creating the impact. And just your structure being there. You know, it's kind of like someone impaling themselves upon their own sword, so to speak. So you're pulling in order to strike. So you're bringing them in towards you so that then your strike has more impact. Okay, so let me show you one more time, front view. So that was actually a side view, believe it or not, because the movement goes to the side. So once you have done your cloud hands, 1, 2, and 3, you make your hook, you go smaller, you go bigger, you turn, relax to center, and extend. We look back, untwist half a step, and then squaring up creates the force of both pulling back and sending away. So we finish right hand forwards and left foot forwards, but we're using a kind of symmetry of the three harmonies. So my hand is in line with my foot. It's the opposite foot, but it's still in line. The elbow is in line with the knee, and the shoulder is in line with the hip. And therefore we feel nice and balanced, and we've got a good, powerful move. So let's just practice that a few times. I'm not sure how we would put it into a silk reeling exactly, but we'll just do a few of them, and hopefully you'll start to feel more confident. Okay, so we'll do the back view, just the normal way. We'll do our cloud hands. Ready? So we go 1, 2, 3, and make a hook. Everything smaller, everything bigger. We turn, relax to center, and expand. Hold it there, please. Okay, are we ready? We look back and open, half step, high pat on horse. Good, let's just go into that again from single whip. Relax the shoulders down, breathe, and look back, untwist, open, half step, strike. Good, and again. Relax to center, look back, untwist, open, half step, strike. Good, and again. Relax your shoulder, and good. One more time, and good, and rest. Lovely. Now you could practice it on both sides. You could practice with just the arms or the upper body. That would be fine, though I never learned it as such. Really, the silk reeling that we did tended to be the first few movements that we do in many repetitions, and of course the walking, the Tai Chi walking. So my teacher never got us to silk reel this section exactly. We would just repeat the way we just did, and so that's the way I've just done it with you. If there's any questions, it's a good time to ask. Otherwise, we will move on now to our separate, kick right and left. Okay, so this is the kicking section, and I'm aware we are in a special health focus class, which means there may be some folks coming with various aches and pains, like myself at the moment. Actually, I've overdone it with my lotus position meditations. I don't think it's a wise thing from my own experience to start doing long periods of seated meditation starting in your late 40s. I'm learning that. I think if I had wanted to do it, I should have really started it in my teens, but never mind. So anyway, my hips aren't 100% happy at the moment, but I'm happy enough actually with kicks, though I am feeling just a little bit not as comfortable as I normally am. So what do you do if you don't feel comfortable when kicking? Well, easy enough, you keep your feet down. So when we start learning Tai Chi, or certainly if we're young and fit and full of beans, we're aiming to kick high as we like, because that is nice to show off. It's nice to build strength, stamina, mental fortitude, all that stuff. And so in my early days in Tai Chi, I was encouraged to kick at least 90 degrees and keep my leg there for as long as I could. In fact, I was asked to kick as high as I could and hold it for as long as I could. And yeah, that's great, but if you have health issues, or if you're not feeling up to that, I would encourage you to start low. And it may be that you're feeling fine, but you don't have great balance as yet. Again, I would encourage you to kick low, or even just extend the foot onto the floor so that you're keeping your structure, you're getting your alignment, you're getting all your other lines beautifully. That's still really beautiful Tai Chi. So it doesn't matter how high you kick. It really doesn't. If you want to practice going up a little bit, you could get yourself close to a set of stairs, for example, and stand at the base of the stairs, and then just kick your foot out and rest the heel on the lowest step, and breathe and check your posture, make sure everything is happy. And if it is, try lifting your heel off the step and see if you can continue to keep your structure. And if you can, and you practice that every day, both sides, rest on the step, and then when you're ready, lift off the step, keep your structure. You can literally work your way up the steps, but keep your foundation foot, your standing foot, on ground floor level. So you just get closer to the steps and stick your leg up the stairs, for example, at each level. That's really useful. So you can do that. You could use gym bars as well, you know, the sort of ladder type structures that you see at the gym, that kind of thing. Or even just go around the house and look for a level that seems appropriate for you at the time. So it's very useful to practice. Get your foot in place, but make sure the rest of your structure is correct. That's where people make mistakes. They sacrifice their structure to try and get their leg in the air. And you see people going, oh, look, I'm doing it. And they're like this. And they may be able to balance precariously, but it's not going to fly from the martial arts point of view. You have to feel structurally sound at all times. So bear that in mind. But for now, if you're not comfortable to lift your legs, just keep them on the floor or just off the floor to give the general feel. Okay, have a wee watch, please. I'm going to show you this. Now, there's a few aspects that are challenging. One is literally just standing on one leg and kicking, but there's another aspect to it, which is the change of direction. That from this one, we separate kick right to the front left corner of the room, and when we do separate kick left, we turn to face the back, and we kick to the back right corner of the room, and that confuses people. So I'm going to show you it in all its glory, so to speak. Have a watch, and then we'll break it down. We'll leave out the turns at first so that we can just look at the alignment, the kicks themselves. Then we'll maybe think about turning again in the space. So just have a watch, please. From high pat on horse, see how close I dare get to you. Okay, we have separate kick right. So we scoop the hand down, release the left hand across the wrists, and a little lift of the hand is like pulling a string. So you're just releasing the front foot. We sink the body down as the arms roll up and step. And we feed the weight forwards, turning out your left foot a little, which adds stability. And we look to the left, and then look to the right, and then look to the centre, if you can. If you're wobbling all over the place by looking, you can glance or just be aware of the left, the right, then the centre. Then the arms and legs together as one. Lift, straightening the supporting leg until it's almost completely straight. Turn the palms, pull back the toes, and kick into the corner. Look at my hand and foot, they're in line, and I'm looking beyond the fingertips. The opposite hand is mirroring that shape, and then I turn to the corner, bringing the toes down, palms facing up either side of the leg. I step, making fists, and I swing into two bees buzzing, which is a temple punch. So I use my own head to measure the position. Then I feed the weight back and open. I turn, using my arms to stabilize and scoop, feeding the weight right. Everything comes up, left leg coming up, and I kick, leaning in. Same again, hand, foot, eye line, together. The other arm mirroring the position, and I finish coming in to hook. And we can relax down. Okay, so that's the whole movement. Let me show you it now in real time without talking about it. Just watch and see if you can see anything, that you can see what's going on. Sometimes breaking stuff down makes it more difficult, so just watch. Okay. Okay. So when we kick, we hold it for 3 seconds because it shows that we have our balance and it's building your strength. And Yang style is a slow moving, nicely stretched out performance. Whereas if you notice in Chen style, kicks are explosive and momentary. They're like the release of a spring or a striking snake, or indeed a striking cat. Cats can be incredibly fast. But Yang style is slow and steady. Let me show you that again from another angle. Now, if you know it, and if you're bored, or if you want to join in, you can do. But even just watching, you learn so much. So we're recording this so you can come back to it again and again, so you can join in with me. But I'm just going to show you the front view. I'm not mirroring, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just doing the same thing, but facing you to begin. Okay, good. So before we actually do it, are there any questions or any comments about that wee section? No? Okay, good. All right, so as I say, if you have balance issues, if you have pain issues, if you have fatigue issues, because kicking takes a bit of energy, you can keep it low. So you can do all of that like this. It's just as lovely. I see different styles of Tai Chi. There are big styles, there are small styles. Yang is a big style. Wu style is small. Everything is very kind of contained and small. And you get small styles and big styles of other physical things like dance. You get ballroom dancing and ballet, which is extending beyond the limits of your body. But you get the likes of Balboa dancing, which is little shuffly steps, and it's still really beautiful. So you can make it beautiful. It doesn't have to be expansive and high to just flow in a beautiful expression of chi and self-expression. So please don't let the height put you off. Let's try it together. We'll try it. You can lift as high as you like. We'll do once. We'll leave out the turns for now. So just with me, please. Let me see. Yeah, I'll do it with my back to you. So follow me. We're not doing the turns. So if you're used to doing it, if you know the form, this is going to be new for you. This is going to be a challenge. Any change that you ever experience is a challenge, but it's a training exercise, really. Because yes, the choreography is lovely, but the most important thing is that your technique is good. So we want to check our posture, we want to get our alignment, we want to get our eye line right, all of these things. So let's not worry about the turns. So for now, just follow me, please. We'll go from high pat, from single whip, we'll go into high pat on horse. Ready? So we look back, half step, high pat on horse. We scoop, cross hands and release. A little lift of the hands to release the front foot. Now we sink the body down as the arms come up and the leg goes forwards. Feed the weight forwards, glance or feel to your left, then to your right, then to the center, and whatever height is fine, we lift. Push the heel into the corner. Hand and foot should be in line. We should look past the hand, the other hand to the opposite corner. Toes down, square up to the corner, step, make fists, and circle up. Now, just for the purposes of this practice, we're going to feed the weight back, and instead of pulling the left shoulder back, we're going to turn towards the front. Scoop the arms down, gather up, and kick into the corner. Good. Right hand in hook, left side comes across, and relax down. Good. And rest. Now I know it gets a little bit confusing when you start changing things, even in a training exercise. Actually, in the 42 step form, once you have done separate kick right, you do turn towards the front to do a different kick. But let's not think about that. Let's do that again. So I'm trying to change as little as possible. It's just that last maneuver of turning to face the back and kick that I have changed. So let's do it again, please. Ready? Relax your shoulders. And we look back. Open. Half step. Square up into the body. And strike. Scoop. Cross hands and lift. Sink down, arms up, step. Turn out your foot a little to look left, to look right, to look center and lift. And extend, but keep the knees slightly bent. Look past your toes. Toes down, square up, step, curl into fists. Two bees buzzing. You can push your back heel back a little bit there. Release and open. Let's turn to the front this time. Scooping the arms round, lift, and kick into the corner. Right hand in hook, left side as one comes across, and relax down. Very good. Take a breath. Okay. So when we go into our double fists, we curl the fists in. We don't just close, because it's more graceful, it's more beautiful, it's more controlled, but also it gives you 4 times the grip. So anytime you're going into a fist from whatever other position, try to curl your fingers one at a time in and bring the thumb in last. Can you see that? I'll show you again. So little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb. Obviously that's done slowly so that you can see there are times you don't have time to do it like that. You go brum, brum. Now you can practice that just sitting at your desk, just sitting at the red light when you're driving. You can just curl into fist, curl into fist, curl into fist. At one stage, a student phoned me up, sent me a message and said, do you ever do it the other way? Do you start from your index finger and curl in the little finger first? No, I don't do that. I've never been told that. He was saying, another one of my teachers practices it both ways. I'm like, good for him. I've never been told to do that. Very useful if you're milking cows or goats, that would be how you do it, I think. But from the point of view of martial arts, from Tai Chi, from my experience from being taught, you always start from the little finger first. Okay, so it does give you more grip. So let's do this, I'm sure we've done it before, but we'll do it again. If you grab one wrist with the other hand, just grab it, and then hold tight, don't hurt yourself, but hold tight, and then try to release yourself from your own grip. You'll probably find that you can do it relatively easily. Whereas if you then do the same thing, but you grip with the little finger first and you curl each finger on top separately and hold tight, even before you go to move, do you feel how it's a much firmer and more controlled grip? Now try and get out of it. No, it's not happening. So I don't know why, but mechanically, if you do one at a time, you get 4 times the grip. Whereas if you just close, you get one grip, and it's quite weak. It's not very useful. Ironically, in Tai Chi, we don't tend to use grasps. We don't do grapples. We do throws. We do judo, as it's called, but we don't hold tight, because when you hold tight, if you hold on to something, it's considered to be a dead hand. You can do nothing with it until you let go, and then you can use it again. And part of Tai Chi is a aspect called Chin Na, which means locking. So it's the art of joint blocking, and it's almost like a separate martial art in itself, but it is part of Tai Chi. And if you grab someone, the likelihood is, if they're a seasoned practitioner, they will take advantage of the fact that you've grabbed them by then sandwiching your hand onto the place where you have grabbed and locking you. So they'll sandwich you on, and then they'll manipulate your joint in whatever way, so that you're in pain, that you have to yield, that you have to give up your structural integrity. So that's Chin Na, that's the art of locking. And so we don't tend to make grasps, but we might make a grasp and let go really quickly, like in Chai, Peng Lu Jian, Chai Lie Zhou Ka. Chai means a yank. So if you're yanking, you could actually use the grasp momentarily before letting go. So it's useful anyway, and if you're ever trying to carry something, if you're ever trying to hold something fast, try this. But it is very nice, that's martial arts we're talking about, from health practice. You're stimulating each of your meridians, so you're encouraging all of your organs to function at peak efficiency when you roll your fingers in, rather than this way, which doesn't have the same effect. It's not bathing each line in as much energy. Master Locke also talks about this in walking, because what happens in your fingers happens in your toes. So Master Locke actually encourages us to walk with our hips turned out slightly, so their feet are slightly turned out to about 23.4 degrees, and then when we're walking, we are actually rippling through the knuckle joints and the toes, rather than if we have our feet parallel, where they just get the same kind of hinge, the same as this. So turn your feet out so that you're rippling through your knuckles, and each toe gets bathed in energy, and each meridian gets bathed in energy, and curl your hands. So that's a nice little homework for you, just to practice. Curl in and make fists. When you make fists, don't make it obvious, make it subtle. I've just done it, but it's more subtle. Okay, so when we're here, we step down and we curl into fists, and then swing out using the back of the hands to come around, so we're punching inwards. Do you see my fists? If I open my hands, they're like so. I'm punching inwards, so I'm hitting the temples. Yeah, so it's very round. It's a very close movement. You're not trying to smack someone at a distance. You're moving in towards them to strike. Okay, so we've covered a lot today. Let's just do it one more time together. We'll do the whole sequence. Let's do single whip, cloud hands, single whip, high pat on horse, separate kick right, 2 bees buzzing, separate kick left. And just for today, we'll keep it facing front, so we'll turn towards the front rather than the back. That turn gets people, and you'll be facing away from the camera. So one more time, please, from single whip. Good. Cloud hands. 1, 2, 3. Single whip. 4. Relax to center. Fix the back foot. Now stay there please, or adjust yourself. And ready for high pad on horse. Separate, kick right. Curl into fists. Double punch. Separate, kick left. Oh, yeah, sorry. And make a hook and relax. Beautiful, well done. Let's warm down everybody, please. So, yeah, it's good to repeat. When it comes to kicks and you're doing a lot of repeats, you can get very tired very quickly. So I would encourage you to do little and often, as opposed to trying to do half an hour of kicks or an hour of kicks. I mean, if you're in tip-top shape, that's fine, but build it up and give yourself moments of rest between. Let's go down to the legs. The knees, lower legs, ankles and feet. Good. Up the body again. I never even mentioned castor oil today. I've discovered castor oil. Much as I listen to people banging on about how wonderful it is to use on your skin for all manner of things, I hadn't actually used it until a few days ago, and it's amazing. It's really good. It's really helped my sore hips. So I would not take it internally, but for arthritis, for bumps, for bursitis, for cancers, for anything that's a foreign body, heel spurs even, castor oil seems to be the thing. For compresses, very, very good. So yeah, I'm finally using a bottle of castor oil that I've had for a long time. I wondered would it still be good, but it seems to be. It's working very nicely. So let's finish with 100 ailments go away. We're going to droop the wrists and we're going to lift off the heels and keep a kind of level and bounce on that level. Recently I saw a video where a person called this a fascia bounce, or fascia bouncing, yeah. Very, very good for the fascia, and I hadn't even thought about the fascia, but yes, it's very, very good for so much. Even if you don't lift the arms up and relax down. The idea is get into a rhythm, and little and often. Again, they say 7 heel taps every day, 100 ailments go away. So let's feel into our body now, please. Breathe into the sensations and let go. Good, let's guide our hands up to cover center. Hug the elbows gently in and allow the energy to return to center. Feel a point of light in the very center of your belly. Feel your energy is stronger. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today, folks, and our 2 lions. Do you know, I don't think they have names. I'll have to ask about that. We'll have to give them names. Let's salute, please. Shia Samhao. And you can say, Lao Shi Hao, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much.